Day one, Summer of Love. Well, I'd like to start with something which is very important to me, especially as I was living in a victim mindset for a very long time. I didn't grow up in an empowering family, and I felt that I was carrying the world on my shoulders. And sometimes it can come back and it can feel like this, especially if I put my responsibility outside of myself and if I expect people to change and situations to change instead of changing myself. That happens when I don't watch my thoughts and when I just, take the slippery slope to um, getting the conclusions, easy conclusions that life is hard and people are making it hard for me. But actually, I believe that challenges always happen so that we can overcome them and tap into our resources. But if we could keep looking at what's happening outside instead of reflecting from the inside, then we cannot reach that. So that's pretty obvious. So, with this first video, I invite you to take back your entire responsibility for where you are at right now in your life. So, first question is, what are you frustrated about currently? And do you decide to take 100% responsibility to change this situation? And then ask yourself, where do you still give your power away? To whom? To what? Because this is going to be between you and you this summer. You cannot change people outside of you. Oh, sometimes I wish I could. And anyway, the outcome is not changing them, it's changing yourself so that outside life will rearrange itself. Maybe some people will live your life, and maybe some people will change the way they see you and the way they experience your relationships together, and then things will evolve. But anyway, you will become a better human, which is what we want in the end. And I believe that tapping into those questions is very valuable to overcome feeling overwhelmed, because when we know that this does not belong to me, then I'm not touching that. And also overcome more fears and doubts and procrastinations and things like that, because we know what we have a hand on, what we can really have an influence on, and that's really important. Also, I'm gonna give a very personal thing that I'm doing. So I have a box here, and I have one here, and I have one in another house that I have in Ubud. And this beautiful box is for me to put things that I don't have an influence on. So I just put in the box things that don't belong to me. For example, um, um, let's say, okay, my boyfriend's behavior, or people buying my book, or the influence of things like that. So just I invite you to get a box and then to put in the box what you don't have an influence on, so that you can just refocus on yourself as soon as possible instead of focusing on what you don't, that you cannot change. You can only change yourself. And then I'll leave you with those questions, which are very powerful. They're written below the video, and that will help you come back to yourself before we can move forward towards more love.